I'm soaring, friends. I am Vitaly Portnikov. The largest Turkish car testing enterprises are beginning to buy Russian naphtha for the rights with the sanctions received by the states. Against the Russian naphtha concerns Rosneft and Lukoil. In the niche market, India is integrated into the Zahid economy. And with such a rank of entrepreneurship, you cannot allow openly Russian naphtha, so as not to run into second sanctions. And not for the threat of closing the power Rakunki on Tilka from American and European banks. I am aware of the American sanctions against that enterprise can have a serious international effect, and block the business of such an enterprise in the whole world. So we can say more about the situation required Mish Donald Trump and Putin, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Extremely clears Trump. The secret of the Turkish president's yak is not yak you are swam into the market nature of the economy of the powerful Ukraine. About the arrival they think, the authorities and corporations, the yaks of the contractors of their business have bought lime. Firm the sanctions of the NAFTA. The torture is extremely Tilka in that Turkish enterprises will have purchased naphtha from the Russian Federation. Here is approximative the same problem, and even India. The decision about the fact that naphtha Insha will be purchased, I'm just saying. I'm still open to the obvious naphtha firm Lukoil and Rosneft can no longer be tied up with serious sanctions. And a roar and for business. However, this situation itself was approaching that wildly from the states received for sending off sanctions against the Russian naphtha companies Surgut Oil and Gas, that Gazprom Neft. And well, those companies to continue Protiviti light naphtha market, and so that no purchase is not Petropoli sanctions, and could not beating Russian. Suits a story the Navy fleet. The massacres are illegal schemes of post-Russian naphtha, as it is revealed that it is not Russian already at the ports of India. Before the hour tag, buying naphtha from Lukoil through Rosneft was just richly careless, below Surgut Neftegaz, Gazprom Neft. However, it is careless, but it means cheaper. Overgrown and Turkish and Indian. For self-driving enterprises, it can extort such schemes from all Russian companies for a sanction period, and allow these companies to spend money on cars in the Indian market without any problems. About China, I will punish. I was led down, and People's Republic of China, 11 Jinping, President of the obtained states Donald Trump, 4 not shadow. About Pitney Postojanj Russian oil to China. We are for seeing off all Ukrainians. I continue to zakupivit Russian naphtha and so finansowani the war of Russia against Ukraine. Obviously, on the Zustrichi of the Birkarian Bizon, Donald Trump has been reduced in economic fallowness. Mutual trust with the received states and the People's Republic of China. I am not allowing the American president to collapse the risks, and it is clear that I will not leave. When hiring a non-election Rick for Donald Trump with the received staff. In the elections before Congress, the share of the American president and the Republican Party is politically rocky. For the tour India is extremely rich in a lawsuit against Ukraine. There may be serious beatings on self-natural enterprises in Ukraine accounts for the share of their business at times. And he will continue legally from the Russian Federation to rich in the People's Republic of China. Trump looked at India openly. Practically, they were not sent to the greedy for respect to the Pax, having considered the president of Ukraine Recep Erdogan with a compliment and calling on the mutual crowding between Turkish and Russian business at the whole rock and the Russian-Ukrainian war. The laws of the market were revealed for Erdogan and Turchin on the rich statements and compliments of Donald Trump. Tilke from the very laws of the market is telling us more from NAFTA with Russia from the underside. And for those cutting down premium car products, NAFTA seriously from the bite. And with such a rank, we can look in this situation, because in the rank they will be plotting against. Allegedly, there may be schemes with the piracy of Mish Ankara and Moscow for the illegal waste of Russian naphtha. So that enterprises will buy naphtha from Maybit. She was not afraid of visibility, and was not afraid of sanctions. In order to form such schemes, in order for Rosneft Lukoil to arrive so far to the Shadow Fleet, it takes an hour. And now Russia is not selling for that naphtha. The yak could not be delivered to the Turkish auto assembly plant. Well, it is extremely overstated, since it is not possible to get it in the West. It is not easy to impose sanctions against the Russian Federation. About the sanctions, I'm in an icon in the situation of Ukraine of a global pub. I was just getting numb. And that those sanctions are bypasses, and with such a rank at once from Russia. You are more profitable financially so that you spend money on a car with gas, and there is not an allegedly visionary wall? And such schemes for an hour of the Russian-Ukrainian fault of the shutters. I have already punished the alleged Western sanctions, and Ukraine I'm to Iran, Venezuela. And the power looks at me as an alternative Jarella Posto, even before the Russian NAFTA. That the schemes are effective and not so important to be enviable. And so to get serious outside of the end of the Russian-Ukrainian war, which is in the sanctions against. Diakuyu. Sagashite on the topic of the channel, it and social to the channel in Petrine. Helps to develop these resources, the function of the sponsorship in the